Hello and welcome to my craft room here in my 1902 farmhouse. My name is Alicia with Country Mama Musings, and today we are working on this beautiful block 58, the soft clusters block for our heirloom Afghan crochet along. So go ahead and grab your supplies and let's get started. So for block 58, we're going to be using our size H crochet hook and whatever color you have determined to be color B for your heirloom Afghan. For me, that is gray. So I'm going to go ahead and start with gray. We're going to start with a slip knot. And placing that on our hook, we're going to chain 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 24, 25, and 26. So here's our beginning chain of 26. Let's move on to row 1. For row 1, we're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So not counting the loop that's on our hook. Here's our first chain and our second chain. We're just going to go ahead and enter that chain and complete a single crochet. There we go. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip the next chain and place a single crochet in the chain after that. And again, we're going to chain 1, and this is what we're going to do all the way down our beginning chain. We're going to make sure we have that chain 1, skip a chain, complete a single crochet in the next chain. Chain 1. Skip a chain, single crochet in the next chain, chain 1. I'm going to continue that pattern of a single crochet, chain 1, then skip a chain and continue. I'm going to do that all the way to the end of our chain here, and I'll meet up with you there. We're here to the end of our chain. I'm going to chain 1, go right here to our very last chain and complete our final single crochet. Let's move on to row 2. For row 2, we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to turn our work. We're going to work a cluster in the chain 1 space in between our single crochets. We're going to work in this space right here, creating a cluster as follows. We're going to yarn over. We're going to insert our hook into that chain 1 space. Don't go through the stitch, just into the space. And we're going to pull up a loop. Give it just a little tug. Yarn over, and you're going to pull through 2 loops on the hook. We're going to do that for a total of 3 times. So that's our first time. Yarn over into that chain 1 space, grabbing our yarn over, pull through 2. That's our second time. We have 3 loops on our hook now. We're going to yarn over, go into that space for our final time, grab our yarn and pull it through, yarn over, pull through 2. We now have 4 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops on our hook, and that creates this really pretty cluster. We're going to chain 1, and that's going to close off our cluster nice and secure. We're going to go to our next chain 1 space, and we're going to repeat that. We're going to place a cluster right here in this chain 1 space. So again, we're repeating our cluster action 3 times to get that cluster. So yarn over into our chain 1 space, grab our yarn and pull it through, little tug, yarn over, pull through 2. There's 1, 2, and there's our third time, yarn over, pull through 2. We've got those 4 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, and chain 1 to close this really pretty cluster. We're going to complete this all the way across, completing row 2. I'll meet up with you when we get here to the end. So remember, you want to close off with that chain, go to your next chain 1 space, and make a cluster. I'm going to continue on with creating my clusters for row 2. I'll meet up with you at the end of the row. We're here to the end of row 2. We have one more chain space right here. We're going to go ahead and make sure we have our chain after we finish that last cluster. We're going to place a cluster in our very last chain 1 space. Finishing that off with a single crochet. And we're going to double crochet into the top of this last single crochet here. Otherwise, our row is very unfinished. Make sure when you go through the top of that stitch that you get 2 loops on your hook there. And pull your yarn back through and then complete your double crochet. And let's take a look here at row 2. For block 58 soft clusters, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 clusters in total. You've got a double crochet here at the end, and we chained up 3, so that's our double crochet here, so everything is nice and symmetrical. This is going to be a beautiful, beautiful block. Let's move on to row 3. Hey, are you enjoying putting together all of the beautiful heirloom sampler blocks for our heirloom Afghan crochet along? If so, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, check out the playlist that has all of the videos for every block for our crochet along, and be sure to share the video with your friends that like to crochet. Okay, let's get back to our project for this week. For row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're going to place a single crochet in the first double crochet. So right here where we did this double crochet, place a single crochet right in the top of that stitch, making sure you get both the front loop and the back loop. We're going to chain 1, and we're going to single crochet in the chain 1 space in between the clusters. So here's where we have this chain in between our clusters. Just go into that chain space and complete a single crochet. Then we're going to chain 1, and we're going to repeat that all the way across. We're going to locate the chain space in between our clusters and place a single crochet and then chain 1. Single crochet in that chain space, chain 1. And we're going to complete this all the way across row 3. I'll meet up with you when I get to the end. We're here to the end of row 3. I've got one more chain space in between my clusters that I'm going to place a single crochet, chain 1, and then I'm going to go right across here and we're going to single crochet in the top of our beginning chain. This counted as a double crochet, but it's really the beginning chain for row 2. We're just going to go right to the top there, place a single crochet, and that completes row 3. For the rest of our block, what we're going to do is we're going to repeat row 2 and then row 3. Just continue that pattern, row 2, row 3, row 2, row 3. I'll meet up with you when I'm about halfway done, and we'll look to see how things are coming along. I've repeated rows 2 and 3 a few more times. Let's see, I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of clusters, and then I have our rows in between of our single crochet chains that we actually work our clusters in. Everything is coming together nicely. You're going to want to make sure you have nice, even edges. If your work is starting to taper in a little bit, you may have missed a stitch somewhere. Go back and find where you made that little bit of a boo-boo and pull your work out until you get to that point and start fresh. Also, if you find that your work is veering out a little bit too much, it might be that you've added an extra stitch somewhere and now your work is starting to grow. You want to make sure it's nice and straight, and it's going to end up being a square. So make sure you don't have any of those variables going on. You want to make sure that with every cluster row you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 clusters, and your 2 double crochet at the end. Always, always. So this is looking good. I'm going to go ahead and repeat my rows 2 and 3 a few more times, and then I'll meet back with you and let's see how the block turns out. I'll see you there. I've repeated rows 2 and 3 several more times to create our block for our Afghan. I'm here on what I know is going to be our last row, and I've got a chain. We're going to right here in between our clusters and do a single crochet, chain 1, right here to the very end where we had that chain up 3, place our last single crochet. Now don't cut your work. You're not going to finish off here. You're going to, once you make sure that your block is the appropriate size, you're going to use this same color yarn to go all the way around and complete round 1 of your edging. And the link for that tutorial is in the description box below, so make sure you check that out. Now then, is this square? We want it to be square. We're going to take this corner, fold it down, and let's see if we're right where we need to be. There we go. We have a square. Let's go ahead and measure this and see where we're at with our little measuring tape here. Look at that. Just about 7 inches. That's where we want it to be. So I'm going to go ahead and add round 1 of our edging, and then I'll finish off. And then I'll do round 2 of our edging, which is going to be in color A. And so all of my squares will have the same color A edging, and that's what I'll do to finish this one up. Once you have your edging on and once your square is completed, go ahead and secure all of your ends. And there's only one thing left to do, and that's get yourself a little tag and go ahead and mark this one as block 58 soft clusters. Go ahead and attach that to your block and set it aside for safekeeping until we're ready to put our Afghan together. So that's it from the craft room here today. Thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time when we work on block 59, and it's simply named clusters. Until then, take care of yourself, take care of each other, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.